What are the financial implications in the near term of this stimulus? This is from Pineys for Pete. What would any related inflation look/feel like to ordinary Americans? What does inflation feel like?
Yeah, that's a really excellent question. And I think it kind of speaks to someone who's curious about what $1.9 trillion stimulating the economy could do. And I think that's a fair concern. One of the hottest topics right now has been whether or not the stimulus will create inflation. What I have heard from a number of experts is that this would be gradual. This would not be something that would be sort of like a big bang where suddenly, a bottle of water costs $10. So I think people would have time to prepare for this sort of thing if inflation does happen. But one other point I really want to stress is we often hear gold associated with inflation. Mm-hmm. And one advisor said to me, don't automatically think about that if you're looking to hedge against inflation. There are a lot of other options. There are equities tied to a potential rebounding economy. So don't necessarily get stuck in that kind of old adage.
Okay, let's go with Dr. Philgood. Here's another question. I like these Twitter handles, by the way.
They're great.
Okay, so this is a tough one because it involves you to dive deep into the $1.9 trillion stimulus package. How much of this is actual relief and not just further pork rolling projects?
Interesting. So I like the realism of this question answer. And I think this has been one of the sticking points in the debate over this, that Republicans have said Democrats just want to spend too much. What is in that $1.9 trillion bill? And that's a great question. Looking at the numbers, of course, we know those $1,400 payments, but when you add all that up, direct payments in this bill would be about $450 billion. And then when you look at other, payments and spending to local governments, that number is $350 billion. So that's lower. And I think what this person is trying to ask here is, how much of this would be going to Americans, would be providing relief, and how much would be going to political projects?
Yeah, it's a good question, and obviously one that comes up time and time again with pretty much everything we see in Washington, because the people who write these bills do want to certainly serve their constituents. Okay, last one from McReady. I'm gonna read this one a little differently, Charlie, so you don't actually have to I just don't want to make it too personal, okay? I don't want to make it too personal. Let's think theoretically here. If you were to get a stimulus check, how would you spend it?
I like that. Look, I am a human, and I am torn too, and I need to write down a plan, and I need to, listen to what advisors have been telling me too. But I have to tell you, I have been eyeing an electric bicycle. I see these people zooming by, and they're not cheap. So that would be something I might consider, but I think I want to be a little bit more responsible.
Hey, but talk about that a little bit, because that would stimulate the economy, right? If you were to buy an electric bicycle, you live in London, you would probably buy it from a local bike shop, right?
I guess that's right. I mean, I guess it would be the British economy.
That's what I'm saying.
Economy, so yes. I don't know if people would be happy about that, but that is a great thing to think about.
All right, so maybe you could order it online and just use the stimulus check to pay for shipping costs from an American company to ship it to you in London, right?
Yes, that would be right.
Okay. Bloomberg personal finance reporter Charlie Wells. Always great when you join us, Charlie. Thanks for your time. Remember, you guys can submit your own personal finance questions to Charlie or Quick Take on social media.
The biggest stories the moment they happen from around the globe. Subscribe to Bloomberg Quick Take now for insight in an instant.